All right, next up, we got a bantamweight scrap here as we have Bryce Mitchell coming in at -140, going up against Santiago Luna, who comes in at +120. Luna coming in on short notice, something to just quickly note off the top there. But Bryce Mitchell had a very successful bantamweight debut last time around against Said Nurmagomedov. Outside of a little bit of trouble in round one, he was able to grind out 8 minutes out of the 10 minutes of the last 2 rounds to get that win over Said Nurmagomedov. Now we know what Bryce Mitchell is good at, right? He gets opponents to the ground, he grinds them out with relative ease, and doesn't really have too much trouble in terms of keeping them on the mat. Depending on who he's fighting, of course. But if he's forced to strike, things get a little bit iffy for him, right? We saw in the Josh Emmett, he got sent to the Shadow Realm. In the John Silva fight, he really struggled to keep Silva on the ground and then eventually gave up his neck and was forced to tap there. And I was very surprised to hear that he wanted to go down to 135 pounds. Not only did he choose to go down to 135 pounds, but he decided to make it the fight that he had against Said Nurmagomedov, where he had to travel across the world to Abu Dhabi while making that weight cut, and he made it. The guy's a professional. Say what you want about him, but he is a professional. He was very good. He looked good on the scale. His cardio looked great for 15 minutes as well. But let's not get too far in terms of the fact that he was able to grind out a guy like Said Nurmagomedov. Right? Nurmagomedov, he is not like the other Nurmagomedovs. He is finish first, decent chokes, flashy, powerful strikes, no real wrestling game, no real concrete wrestling game that would be able to cause a guy like Bryce Mitchell trouble. And I think that's why Mitchell was able to have the success that he had and really grind Nurmagomedov out there and get the win the way that he did. But he is a sitting duck on the feet. He's too much of a liability on the feet, and that's where a lot of opponents have been able to take advantage of him in the past. Now, he is going up against Santiago Border Boy Luna, who is probably one of my favorite prospects currently on the roster. This kid is special. He's 21 years old. He is a Greco-Roman national champion, 3-time national champion over in Mexico. And you don't often see him leaning on that wrestling all that often. Like, he was able to land, I believe, 5 takedowns on Angel Pacheco. Pacheco was quickly able to work back to his feet. But he has that ability to land takedowns if he needs to. But it's been his hands. The Kwang Lee fight, the nasty knockout that he was able to produce in his short notice UFC debut that night. Now, this is a guy, like I said, started off with Greco-Roman wrestling, started training at Entrim Gym. In the last couple of years, he moved over to California. He's largely been training alongside Marlon Vera. He's been alongside Arman Sarukian the last couple months as well, which obviously makes his confidence go through the roof. And knowing that he just stays in shape to take this type of opportunity is a big step for him. It's a great advantage for him to have to stay in shape and stay in fight shape so he can take these types of opportunities to try to skyrocket up the rankings and try to make a name for himself. Again, since he comes from a wrestling background, it's kind of surprising how fluid and how slick he looks in the boxing realm, especially with the type of power that he's been able to produce. And he has a tremendous gas tank to go a hard 15 minutes if he needs to. Now, when I studied up on this matchup late last week, Luna was +150. And after I finished studying, I'm like, oh my God, I think we are getting a gift of a line here. Now, I can already imagine what we're going to hear in terms of the people taking Bryce Mitchell in this spot. Look at the strength of schedule of Bryce Mitchell. His control is elite. He'll get in on those takedowns. He'll get those scrambles. He'll stay in top position. He won't have much issues. Luna is only 21 years old, doesn't have the type of experience that Mitchell has. He's going to get grinded out. He's going to slow down, and he's going to pretty much break. I don't see that happening whatsoever. I believe this kid is a winner. I believe he is a future champion. I believe his striking is far superior to Bryce Mitchell. I believe his wrestling background will keep him away from danger from Mitchell. And I think he has the better cardio to be more effective, especially in deep water here, especially as Mitchell starts to fail on these takedowns. Now, I'm not saying Mitchell won't land a takedown or two, right? I think he will. I think he might get a few minutes of control time, but I think we'll see consistent work from Luna to get out of those spots, to scramble, to get back to the feet. And then from there, I think he just bombs on Mitchell until he eventually comes through with a knockout. And it seems like the public is slowly agreeing with me here, hence why Luna has gone from +150 down to +120, and it would not surprise me at all if he ends up closing as the favorite here. This kid is good. And say what you want about his lack of experience at this point in time. He has passed every test that has been given to him with flying colors for the most part. I expect this to be one of those situations once again. This almost reminds me of David Martinez stepping in on short notice against Rob Font and making the most of that opportunity and getting the win there. But I think this one will be even more emphatic with Luna getting that knockout over Mitchell, probably in round 2 or round 3. But look for him to stay active enough in the grappling realm to keep Mitchell away from too much control time, and then really just batter him on the feet and have tremendous success there until he finds the knockout.